Hey, Flosstube, Sean here. It's been a couple of months since I did a video. I know said I was going to be a bit more frequent, maybe every other week or that, but shortly after I made that video, so that was in the top of June, and then the top of July, my hours increased at work, and I've been working on figuring out that schedule I'm on. If you saw my booktube video that I put up on Friday, which was a book haul, then you heard me talk about how I'm on mandatory 50 hours a week. Plus, they've been doing incentive weekends, and with my commute, a 10-hour day is 12 hours long because my commute is about an hour each way. So it took me a little bit to get used to that schedule and find a way to make it work with my life and other things that I had going on and wanted to do. So it's evening out now. I'm still going to be on those kind of hours for the foreseeable future, but it's not going to affect my filming and that and such. And in that vein too, I'm probably going to approach Flosstube videos more like a weekly vlog style, like maybe show you what I'm about to work on for that day and show you where it's at, and then where it's at, where how much progress I make on it that day or that couple of days that I'm going to work on it. I've got a few ideas on how to get some variety into that. And let me know in the comments too if you like that style of video, but I think that's going to make it easier for me to get content out rather than needing to have 45 minutes in an evening that I necessarily maybe not have the energy to film after a long exhausting a day. So I think ultimately I'll get more stitching and reading in on the booktube side. I'm not gonna. Sorry, that was one of the new kittens wanting to get into the room. But yeah, I think I'll ultimately be able to get content out and still get like stitching and reading done if I handle Flosstube more in a vlog style. Because that's the other reason I haven't gotten a video out, because I haven't felt like sitting down for a half an hour to 40 minutes and filming. So I know the last time I did a whip parade kind of thing, but since it's been a couple of months and I've worked on stuff and I don't know what I have and haven't worked on. I mean, a couple things I'm probably not going to show because I know I haven't worked on them since I last showed you, or there's just really nothing to show. But for the most part, I'm just going to go through the whips again and show you where I'm at with them, because I've worked on a lot of different things since the beginning of June, and I don't really fully remember what I've worked on and what I haven't, because time's just moving this year, so I just don't have a time frame for things. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you where I'm at with everything, and like I said, a couple of things I know I haven't worked on, so I'm not gonna show them. Like US Arthur, I know I haven't worked on since the last video. So if you want to see where that was at, you can scan through Flosstube number 4, and that'll be in there. But I know I haven't touched that in a while. So I was gonna, yeah, no, I'll talk about that in the first part of the first vlog. Okay. Sorry, I was just an idea I had on how to choose whips, and I think I'll talk about that in the first weekly video. But anyway, so what I've really been focusing on for the past close to a month maybe. Yeah, something like that. At least 3 weeks. Has been Enchanted Glimpse. Charted by Haid. Julie Fain is the artist. And again, I'll put pictures up. But now this one, here's where I'm at. I've kind of gone back to diagonal stitching. I know in the last video I talked about, my light in here sucks. If I go over here. I know in the last video I talked, there we go. Shoot. Okay, I know in the last video, sorry. I'll get this sentence out. I know in the last video I talked about how I kind of switched from diagonal stitching to just however the chart seems to want to be stitched. Now this one, I was going to color complete black on this one. And then I decided that to make that easier, I was going to, and I'm going to move some things, I was going to do the outline of the black and just outline on all the black so that once the black was all outlined out, I could just sit down in an evening and just work on black. And I wouldn't even need the chart because it would all be outlined and I know exactly the confines of my black. So I was doing that and I made it fairly far in doing that. But then I took this to my parents' house one day. We had a power outage here at the house, and my parents' power was out too, but they have a generator. They have a whole house generator. So we went over to their house to make breakfast and take some stuff from our fridge and put it in their fridge, so we didn't lose things. And we spent some time over there with them, and I took this with me. And I kind of decided then that I was just gonna start filling in, and I kind of had made the decision to go back to the diagonal, because how I was doing the diagonal before was I was taking 10 stitches across down the diagonal, which I'm still doing, but I was cross-countrying down the whole diagonal, and as I was starting to get bigger and bigger diagonals, that was just seeming like didn't make a lot of sense to me. And so then I just had the thought, and I'm sure there are Flosstube videos about stitching on the diagonals that talk about this. I just haven't seen them because once I thought of it, it seemed kind of like common sense and probably how a lot of people probably do stitch on the diagonal. But so 10 stitches across, like you can kind of see down here, I'm finishing up this diagonal, but it's 10 stitches across. But all these segments of floss are 10 stitches, a row of 10. So I just use one strand of floss for the symbols in that row of 10, and then the next row of 10, I just start a new strand of floss for it. So I'm just carrying that across instead of down the diagonal. So I finish this section of 100, and then I move the floss, park the floss over to where the symbol is in that next section across, next diagonal section across. And that's working out really well for me. So well, in fact, that I'm kind of starting to convert everything to that and starting new projects that way. So that's really working out well for me so far. And I'm kind of really, I've really been enjoying stitching on this. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of color because it's not. It's a silhouette piece, but I'm just loving seeing this come together. So that has been my primary focus the past few weeks. And that's probably what I'll work on more tonight. Tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow I may work on some Simply Meant to Be because I'm kind of feeling that one a little bit. But I'll probably work on that almost every day. I don't know. But that's the one I'm mostly feeling right now. The other one I've been really in the mood for is Big Red Ship of Life. And even though this is a sampler, I'm doing the same thing. doing rows of 10, and I just have, you know, this is one color. This whole thing is one color, but I just have a strand of floss in each segment that makes sense, and I'm just going across, but stitching in the diagonal. You can see I've stopped here, and I'm working on this diagonal here, and that, I mean, even on a sampler, that's feeling good to me, instead of just working on this same pattern all the way across on the top, and then this pattern all the way across the, you know, or across the page, or however I would decide to do it. I feel like I see more come together going on the diagonal. So that's where I'm at with that. Last time I probably only had a little bit of this top border done. All the rest of this and all of this I put in last week. This isn't going to be quite the mess it was last time, because I have a tub now. These are just not in the tub because they were ones I had out for the week. I haven't made much more progress on Rainy Waterloo Place. I just kind of started my switching to the diagonal here. So I haven't put much more into that. Just a little bit there, and then a little bit in here. I'm going to end up getting this onto the diagonal. So that's the ones I have out. Okay, these are just going to be as I pull them out. I have a new start. This is Humble Heart from Hade, and I don't know who the artist is. Let me see if I can pull that up. And let's go back to that. And what's that? How far back is that? There it is. Cynthia Mathieu is the artist, and this is a Hade. And there should have already been, or should be, or will be a picture right here of the pattern. But it's a very Celtic design inspired, but it's very colorful, a lot going on in it, and it's going to be fun to see come together. So this one I just went ahead and started on the diagonal, and you can see I've stopped there. This is very I got the color expansion, so it's 150 colors, so it's even in this little bit, it's very confetti heavy. So and okay, Outer Frontier. I'm not going to pull this whole thing off of the Q-Snap. But I was working on page 3 down here the last time you saw it. Again, this one's going to be massive to switch to the diagonal, but I do eventually want to get onto the diagonal on it, but it's going to be like several other page finishes before I get to the full diagonal to where I'm at down here on page 3. But this is page 2. And you can kind of see the moon of it coming together, because I'll have the picture up here. So this is where I'm at with this, and where I'm working on, because I'm just going to keep working on the diagonal here until I get fully on the diagonal again. I would like to get to the full diagonal by the end of the year on that one, and that's going to be a chore, because I had to lay out the chart on the kitchen table and figure out where the diagonal was, and it includes like about 4 at least page finishes plus some partial pages. So I don't know if I'll make it by the end of the year, but it's a goal. And I don't know if I've done much work on this one since my last video, but I am going to put some work into it soon, because again, I also want to get this one out of the diagonal, but this is simply meant to be. This is where I'm at with that. I've got a lot of the light color filled in up here. I think this is, we're getting into the top of the moon that'll have Oogie Boogie there. And I've got some dark to fill in here. So what I'm going to do tomorrow or Monday night maybe, is at least get the dark filled in here. So then that's where I'm at. And then I can take that up to the diagonal to where I need to be to get out of the diagonal on this one. And this is the one I'm stitching along with Daphne at Mama Metzger and Kelly at Kelly Bell, just with the hashtag SMTBcell on Instagram, although I haven't posted on Instagram in a while, so they haven't seen many updates from me on it because I haven't really been working on it that much. That's something I'm frogging out. Eclipse. I have worked on Eclipse a little bit, not much. So I don't even have to unfold this. So this is where I'm at with Eclipse. And this is the lower left corner. This is actually the lower left corner. Yeah. Lower, yeah. Starting like down, it would be the down right corner as you're looking at the pattern. But this has got some funkiness in it, but you really can't tell. Because I started full cross here and I switched. Is that okay? Might just be my lighting. But in here I kind of switched that to try half cross, 2/1/2 cross, and I wasn't liking it, so I went back to full cross. And you really, as I'm looking at it, I really can't tell where I've made the changes at too much. And it's just down in the lower left corner, so I'm not even worried about it. If I can, it'll just show I was trying some stuff. That one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along those bottom partial pages, and then I'm going to go, because I don't really want to do diet. Maybe I will. Now that I'm talking, I just, not the way I stitch. I don't like going this way. I like going this way. So I thought I might take that across and then go up and then diagonal it down, but that's going to take a long time. So maybe I will just try the diagonal from that bottom corner. I don't know. I know I only have the floss to do the bottom row right now, though. I think this is a new start since you saw me last, because I think this is the piece that I started trying, that and Outer Frontier. I started trying that method of the diagonal on. But this will be that fell again. Okay, this will be Spread Your Wings by Renee Biertempfel. This is another Haid, because I'm crazy and I do a shit ton of Haids at one time. So just a lot of orangish yellows right now. But so even just with this color palette right here, I was really enjoying working on this. So I want to get back to that one at some point soon. Again, I gotta buy more floss for it, because I've only bought a few colors for it, but those few colors will get me a very long way. Sunset in Venice. I've put a little bit of work into this, not much. I don't know what it is about this one. Maybe it's because it's so confetti heavy, because it's color expansion, but and especially with my new kittens, all my colors are bobbinated in a thing, and it's tough to get the thing out with the new kittens. It has been a challenge to stitch with these new kittens, y'all. They keep dive bombing my Q-snap. But again, just starting to switch to the diagonal here. Just a lot of reds. I do really want to. I was hoping to put a bunch of work into this summer, but I've just been feeling other things. It's about time. Again, not much more since the last time you saw me. Just starting to switch to the diagonal here. I do want to put more work into this, because this is one that's so busy. You'll just constantly see something coming together, and that, like, I like working on just a field of, you know, kind of background color that can be very relaxing, but it's cool just to see something starting to come together right away too, and seeing images come together right away. I don't need to show that. That whole first page is going to be black, and I've only got a little 10 by 10 square black done. That would have been Stolen Harvest. I don't need to show that. I haven't worked on Flyaway. Okay. This is my Audrey. And again, I want to get this onto the diagonal. And I was kind of tired of working on all the white over here in the curtains. And I'll eventually get back to it. But again, I want to get to the diagonal. So what I did is I went down to this page and I started getting the diagonal in there, because I've got it all charted out. Again, I laid it around across the kitchen table, so I know I've done where I meet the diagonal at, like I did with Outer Frontier. So I know where I need to go. So I just decided I wanted to go back down and work on some more of this brickwork and start getting to my diagonal over here, because I was tiring of these curtains. And that's the nice thing about the way I'm doing about working on the diagonal too, because you go into different sections of the piece, and I'm really liking that. Especially as the columns get longer, you'll go into different sections and just see more come together. I have not worked on the lane. This might be a new... I don't think I've even got much into this. This might be a new start. I don't have much into this at all. I don't know if I showed you this at all, but I started Lust by Marta Dolling. 620 I started that, so no, you haven't seen this. But I've just got a little bit put in there just so I had the start on it. Because I had the fabric, I had the floss I needed to start the first page with, so I just wanted to get it started. What is this? I have not worked on that since I last saw you. Dark Moonlight Angel is going to be a lot of the same story. I was going across, and now I've started going on the diagonal. And it's gonna be a while before I get into the moon and the angel on that. I've got a few pages. I've got a lot this way about 4 colors. Again, this is one I haven't even bought everything for. is this? Yeah, this is when did I start this? Yeah, this is definitely a new start since I saw you. This is a Jeff Haney writing my memoirs, and I've just got the top corner started. And this was before I started doing the diagonal. Now you'll see in the picture, as long as I have it up already, that there's this black border around it. They don't chart the black border. So I just started where the chart starts. But I'm thinking that, especially since I'm doing it on this white fabric, I originally had gotten a darker kind of grayish fabric for it. It's actually the fabric that Lust is on. I bought that for writing my memoirs. And that's why I wanted to start Lust, because it was the exact size I needed for Lust. But I put the first stitch into writing my memoirs on that other fabric. It was the exact same color as the fabric, and with my color issues, I couldn't even see where I stitched. So that fabric wasn't going to work, and I got that fabric because I thought it would look good because the border of the picture is dark, so I thought it would pop out. But I couldn't even see the first stitch I put in to put this. I couldn't put the second stitch in because I couldn't see where I had just stitched. But I think, and give me your opinions in the comments. I think I want to stitch the black border, even though it's not charted. It's not called for that way, and the floss estimate isn't in there for that. But it's just black. So I think it's gonna pop out more if I do that black. If I stitch the black border. So I think that's what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to count back up and start that black border and then get on the diagonal on this one. I just think it's going to pop more. And I just, Hade has been doing like an artist of the month kind of thing. It's a special exclusive chart that's available for a month. And this month's, they did it last month and this month, and it just ended. So I should check the site because there might be a new one out. And but this second one that they did was a Jeff Haney steampunk lady cat. It's so cool. And again, it's got that black border around it that's not charted. But again, even on that one, I think I'm gonna do the black border. Have I done? Not sure if I've done anything on big cats or not. I have, because I started getting it onto the diagonal. So that's big cats right now. And you know, I couldn't, when I was originally stitching it, I couldn't, and I don't know if you can see it in this light, but I wasn't seeing up in the picture. You see how it's these darker shades and these lighter shades that make it look like kind of trees back there. There's a definite, like, doesn't just look like one solid color. When I was stitching it, especially with my color issues, it was looking like one solid color. But then once I got this much stitch and I pulled back, I don't know, my light sucks, but I can actually see that coming together now, which makes me more excited to work on it. Again, I've had such fabric issues getting this started. This I bought at freaking Michael's because it was the right size, but I'm still not loving the fabric I have it on. I just don't like the holes too wide, and I don't know. It seems to slip a little bit more, this style. I don't know. But I really don't want to start it a third time. So I'm getting used to it. And the last thing I have to show you is my Universal Monsters stitch along. The Universal Monsters cell. I put some work into this. I think last time you saw it, the final room just came. I'm way behind on this. The final room just came out, and it's the doorway to the mansion. And Witchy Stitcher released 6 available doorway charts for it, so you can choose your own ending kind of thing. And one of them is Vincent Price welcoming you into the mansion. I think that's the one I'm going to do. But so the Phantom of the Opera was the starting room, the middle room, and I think the last time you saw this, I just had the organ, kind of this curtain and the organ done. I have since finished the Phantom of the Opera room, and the second room that was released was the Mummy, which goes right underneath Phantom of the Opera. And so I've got the sarcophagus done except for the back stitching, and I think that's the start of a candelabra over there. Now, there's some specialty stitches mixed in that I've never done, and I think that is what stalled me out on this, because I need to practice because the Mummy room has French knots. I've never done French knots, so I need to practice them a bit first on like some scrap fabric, which I have plenty of. I have plenty of scrap fabric because I buy those 28 count even weaves from Hobby Lobby, which fit most Hades, and I just cut out the size I need, and then I have plenty of scrap fabric. So, and I know a couple of the other rooms have some other different specialty stitches for like some flowers and stuff. So I need to do some practicing on the specialty stitches before I get to this, because I've seen the finished product now from some really fast stitchers, and there's this whole mansion, and so it has the top. You'll have the top of the mansion and steps going into the door, and just it's really cool. But I kind of stalled out on it because I was coming to a spot where I needed to be able to do French knots, and I just haven't sat down and practiced and learned how to do them yet. So I didn't want to continue on until I had that figured out. And that is, I think, everything I've worked on since I last saw you. I skipped some things because I knew 100% I hadn't worked on it since I last saw you. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with things. Let me know in the comments if you like the vlog style idea. It's going to be the best way for me to get content out. So, yeah, sorry, I paused there because I had a maximum file size reached message, so I kind of gave it a second to start the next file. So I'm definitely gonna have to do some editing to put the 2 files together. But yeah, so anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of that idea. And I'm gonna come up with some ways to put variety into it. I'll just go ahead. What I was stalling on possibly telling you is I might do like a Tiny Decisions app kind of thing, and let that pick one thing that I work on off and on for the week, or for part of the week, and then do it again. I've got all my webs loaded into the Tiny Decisions app. And the thing is, I won't be able to film me spinning it so that you know that I'm telling the truth on what I said it landed on, because I film with my phone, and the app is on my phone, so you're just gonna have to trust me if that's what I decide to do. But what I'll probably have is a couple of pieces that I know I feel like working on in the week, and then a Tiny Decisions app once or twice in the week, and put some stitches into something at random. But anyway, let me know in the comments how you're doing, what you're working on, and thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. I honestly and truly do. If this is your first time watching one of my Flosstube videos, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stick around. If you want to stick around and want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button so you know when I post new content, and I'll see you all in the next one.